I was reading. Yes. I was reading chapter 11, Atma, and my question was, if there is no more Janma for a human being, is it in the state of eternity?
Yes, this is a very interesting topic and question. First of all, we should remember that space and time are only concepts. They do not exist in reality. So when we speak about eternity or it to be eternal, we mean that we are not this body-mind complex or Jivatma. So our real nature as infinite impersonal awareness is beyond any concepts such as space and time. So already from beginningless time and non-existing time, our true nature is the truth. What appears and disappears as an individual entity is only an appearance, is only an illusion. It is only a reflection of consciousness. So in reality, we cannot speak about becoming eternal in the future because we are already beyond space and time. So if I were to ask you, did you ever had an experience of you as awareness, as a beginning point? Did you ever had an experience of you awareness starting or having a birth?
No.
No. So you are already, as awareness, eternal. But even to say eternal, that you are eternal, it's only a concept. Because if we say you are eternal, we are presupposing that there is time, when in reality there is no time and there is no space. Okay. But because we speak on that level of Vyavaharika, empirical apparent reality, we speak about this kind of terminology, like eternal, space, time. So in reality, all these are only expressions, only tools to help the one who believes he is a body-mind complex or an individual entity, to help to wake up and to see that in reality all these are just concepts, and what is the ultimate truth is Brahman, or awareness, or consciousness. So the Jivatma and the body-mind complex, of course, is on the level of space and time. It functions on these limitations, but our true nature as Brahman, awareness, consciousness, is beyond any concept. Now, if we want to go even more beyond these expressions, we can say that Brahman is also a concept. There is no such thing as Brahman in reality. We say, Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman, in order to stop believing that I am a Jivatma, or a body-mind complex, or an individual identity. But in reality, what is the truth is beyond any concept, any name. Brahman is only a label again. And what we really are is beyond any label. It is called Nama Rupa, names and forms. We are none of these names and forms. And even when we say we, it's only on the level of expression, because there is no we. Since there is only awareness consciousness, what is we? But because the language is dual, unfortunately, we need to use dualistic terminology, and we can start from this dualistic terminology until we are able to go beyond.
Mm.
So the truth is beyond any concept, beyond any names and forms, beyond any labels, beyond any namarupa, which are the Sanskritam terms. Because people believe that I am a limited individual being, the scriptures appearing to wake up the people and to reveal to them that there is no limitation. But in reality, there is no even the term space or the term time or the term Brahman. Just labels, just tools for expression. When you are in the deep sleep without dreams, do you ask, who am I? If I am Brahman or if I am an individual? No. When you have the questions in the so-called waking state, when the mind is functional, when we have this function of the thinking process, then you ask, who am I? Am I an individual being? Am I a person, an ego? Or I am what the scriptures are saying to me, an infinite, impersonal being, awareness, consciousness, Brahman. It's like you wake up, you go in the mirror and you say your name. I'm a human being and your name. Do you need to say that every morning in the mirror? No. You don't need to say that. The same when there is the level of maturity of self-realization, moksha, enlightenment, on a permanent basis, we have recognition and conviction that I am an impersonal awareness, consciousness, Brahman, then there is no need anymore to say Aham Brahmasmi and to chant and to recite and to contemplate on this Mahavakyam. It is a Mahavakyam, Aham Brahmasmi, such as TATTVA Asi, I am that, or I am Brahman, Brahman I am. All these are tools which are meant for awaking on the truth. But when there is this permanent recognition and conviction that I was never a person, I was never an individual entity or a body-mind complex or a jivatma, then there is no need of declaring that I am Brahman, Aham Brahmasmi. There is no need anymore. You just abide as that you have been always and forever, as Nitya Mukta, which means eternally self-realized, enlightened. This is your true nature.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you.
Welcome. Somebody else?
Guru, I have one question to ask.
Sure, most welcome.
Ramana Maharishi sometimes says that a body is also a thought.
Of course, everything is a thought form.
How to understand a body, a full body is also a thought? I don't understand how it is possible.
Yes. You can also open the camera when somebody is asking a question, is free to open the camera so we can have this dialogue. So everything in reality, what we see, is a thought form, nothing else than a thought form. Just like in the dream in the night, whatever you see and you are experiencing in the dream, is it anything else except a thought form?
In a dream, it is a thought form. You are 100% correct, Guruji.
Yeah, the
But
same.
in a waking state, it is also a thought form. How to realize it?
Yes, in the so-called waking state, it is also a thought form, because in the so-called waking state, the mind is continuing to have this thinking process. So whatever you see, it is none other than thought forms, like a concept. For example, when you see the sun doesn't say to you, I am the sun. You say, this is the sun. Everything is because of your presence. You start with I am, I exist, and then you say, this is the sun, or this is a rose flower, or this is a tree, or this is the moon, or this is the sky. But none of these appearances say to you what they are. Who says what they are? You present, you I am. Now, if you don't say something, if you don't say this is the sun, or this is the sky, or this is the rose, what you see is only yourself. Because there is only yourself. There are no others. And when I say everything is yourself and everybody is yourself, of course, I don't mean you, Sanjeev. I mean you as impersonal, infinite awareness, consciousness, Brahman. Since there is only that, what you see is only a reflection of you in you. Just like in the dream in the night, whatever you see and whatever you are experiencing is a thought form in you, recognized by you. Nobody else is there. No objects are there. No people are there. Nevertheless, you have the experience in the dream that you have transactions. You may see that your father is very tough with you and he's slapping you. And you may have experiencing the pain. And then you stand up and you say, oh, that was just a dream. My father was not there. He didn't give me a slap. It was just imagination, just a thought form. Yes, but while being a dreamer, everything was appearing as completely real. So for the dreamer, the dream is real. The same with the waking state. Until you become a super waker and you realize that the long dream of life is also a dream. Then you become a super waker and you realize that all that you have seen till this moment was just like a dream. If, for example, I were to ask you to look back in your life, isn't it like a moment? Until you were in the basic school, isn't it like a moment?
Yeah, it's like a moment.
You see? And if you go to ask somebody who is 100 years old and ask him, sir, tell me about your life. Is it how it looks like now? Everyone will say it looks like a moment. It looks like a dream. Because it is a dream. Nothing else than a dream.
So then why people don't understand it?
Due to Maya, due to the power of consciousness and the power of Maya. It creates this veiling, this covering of the truth. It is a kind of sleep. Just the same like when you are in the dream state, the mind believes that everything is real. There is transactability. You transact with others, just like in the waking state. There is experienceability. You have experiences, real experiences. And you have also utility. If you are thirsty and somebody will offer to you a glass of water in the dream, your thirst will go. So the same transactability, experienceability, and utility we have in the waking state as well. But does that mean that there is reality there? No.
No reality,
It
no
doesn't
reality.
prove, yes, it doesn't prove the reality. It just proves that really we have appearances. So in Advaita Vedanta, we don't deny or we do not reject that the universe, the Jagrat appears. We reject its inherent reality. We say that it is borrowed reality from consciousness, from Brahman. We say that the world and the beings are borrowing as appearances, or Brahman lending with the help of Maya, because due to Maya, there is this lending of apparent existence. So we do not deny the appearances, we reject that they have inherent existence. So
Can I interrupt you?
Sure.
So smelling, hearing, and touching all come under seeing.
Yes, all the senses are only thought forms, only namarupa, names and forms, only labels, only superimpositions in consciousness.
And they
Just
also come in the mind space.
Please repeat.
This all happening in the mind space.
It is an appearance in consciousness, and while they disappear, consciousness remains always unaltered, unchanging. Just like whatever appears in the dream, all the experiences, the people and the transactions and the events and the objects, everything appears real in the substratum of consciousness. Just like the substratum in the screen of a cinema. The substratum offers the background. The substratum is whereupon the dream appears and disappears, or the movie appears and disappears. When the movie stops, or when there is a break or a pause for refreshments, do we have any change in the screen of the cinema?
It remains the same.
Exactly. So the same with consciousness remains always the same, even when Sanjeev is not there.
Definitely.
No change, no any alteration. Sanjeev is only a protagonist in this movie called The Life Story of Sanjeev.
Definitely, Guruji.
Yes, and then you look at this movie, and sometimes, just like when you go to the movies and you become very much identified with the protagonist, and you can feel pain, you can feel the suffering of the protagonist, or you can laugh and you can feel happy because of the protagonist is happy in the scenario.
Yes.
And then when you remember that what you are looking is not something real, but the screen of the cinema, then the identification and the attachment becomes reduced. then it cannot affect you so much, the scenario. Just the same with the life story of Sanjeev as a protagonist. If you
Right. So I
want,
want to interrupt you.
hmm?
Sir, all the sense perception happens in the body or in the mind?
Yes, the body-mind complex, all the thoughts and all the emotions and all the events and experiences and everything are just like the clouds in the sky. They are just passing by, but the screen or the sky remains completely unchanging.
No, no, it happens in the mind or it happens in the body. Matlab, question is like that. Matter where the perception takes place. My sense perception takes place in the body or in the mind.
The body is only a projection of the mind. There is no body as a solid body. The mind is what is creating this illusion that the body is solid. In reality, there is no any solidity anywhere in the universe. Even quantum physics, they know that there is no any solidity anywhere. And there is no what we call matter. There is no such thing as matter. It's only a concept.
Okay. The
So,
concept is clear.
yes, when somebody says, I'm the body, actually he says I'm an illusion or an imagination or a thought form, because the body does not have any solidity. The
Now
body,
I'm clear.
yes, the body consists of molecules, atoms, and subatomic particles. And subatomic particles are none other than energy. And energy is information. And we go back to consciousness.
Yeah, it's true. True, Guruji. I am true.
That's why quantum physicists like Niels Bohr or Schrödinger and others, they were speaking about Advaita Vedanta and the scriptures, and they were proving with science what the scriptures are revealing, that there is no any solidity.
Right.
Everything is only informations, only concepts or ideas or thought forms or labels or superimpositions in consciousness. That's why Schrödinger said that consciousness cannot be plural, can only be singular, cannot be multiple. There is no any multiplicity. What they also is revealing Advaita Vedanta scriptures, the Upanishads, Vedanta. They all the time they reveal that there is no multiplicity of any kind. There is no also duality of any kind. There is no even oneness. We speak about oneness because people believe in multiplicity and duality. But in reality, oneness is also a concept, is also illusion, is also namarupa, names and forms, or a label. It's only appearing as a concept of oneness because people believe in multiplicity or duality. And so the scriptures are trying to wake up the people to see the non-existence of multiplicity or duality by mentioning the term oneness. But since there is only awareness, Brahman consciousness, the term oneness is wrong. Why? Because when you say oneness, you're presupposing that there is also something which is not oneness. But all these are just concepts, just labels, which are also appearing only in the waking state or in the dream state. Why all these concepts do not appear in the deep sleep without dreams? It is just superimpositions in consciousness.
Sir, I want to ask one more question.
Sure, welcome.
Sensation and perceptions can be regarded as thought form. Is it true?
Perceptions require presence and consciousness, isn't it?
Okay.
Can we have a perception without consciousness, without presence? Is it possible to have what we call perception with somebody being there as presence?
No, perception, I am telling sense perceptions. Smelling, hearing, touching,
Yes,
tasting, this
all
kind
of
of
this, all
perception.
of this, all of this. Can
All
we
of this.
speak about all of this if there is no presence
No, we
required?
cannot talk.
No.
No, we
We
cannot
have a
talk.
requirement, then the requirement is presence, I amness. Then you say, because I am and I have the presence, I am presence, I can perceive something. Now, if I were to ask you, where does you presence begins? Where you presence stop or have an ending point? Can you tell me?
It's infinity.
It's infinity. So presence, can it be somewhere and perception somewhere else?
No, it is impossible.
It is impossible. So presence encompasses, in inverted commas, all perceptions and all senses, correct? So all perceptions are just presence, are just I amness, are just consciousness, awareness, nothing else distinct than consciousness, presence, awareness.
And we can say all sense perceptions as also thought form. It's all our thoughts.
Yes, all thought forms, do they appear out of presence?
No, not at all.
Not at all. So the stuff of which is made all perceptions and all the senses and all the thought forms, what is the stuff, in inverted commas, if we will be scientists and we would like to see from which stuff all perceptions are made of and all the senses and all thought forms, they are made of consciousness, awareness, presence, Brahman.
Yeah, Guruji,
So,
I am clear.
yes, so there is no any distinction. It's like the waves and the ocean. The waves cannot be apart from the ocean and the water of the ocean. So if Sanjeev say, I am the wave Sanjeev, and there is another wave with the name Satchitananda. But it is only an illusion because there is only the water of the ocean. There are no distinct waves as perceptions, so to speak, as
And they can't
Sanjeev
exist.
and Satchitananda. There are no distinct beings or distinct individual entities, one called Sanjeev and another one called Satchitananda. It is only the water which modulates itself or appears as Sanjeev and Satchitananda. But their in inverted commas, essence is the same water, correct?
Correct, sir. I am satisfied.
Yes. Another way to put it is, it seems now that there are two individual entities in satsang, in dialogue. One we call Satchitananda and the other one we call Sanjeev. But in reality, it is only an illusion because presence is one, consciousness is one. It cannot separate itself in two distinct parts. So there are no individual entities here interacting with each other, making a dialogue. And that's why in reality there is no Sishya and Guru. There is only consciousness, awareness, presence, or Brahman. You can call it however you like. In reality, it does not have a name, and it doesn't need a name. The truth doesn't need a name. The reality, the real reality, does not have a name. Even when we speak and we say the truth doesn't have a name, the term truth, it's also a concept, a label. The term awareness is also a term, a concept, an illusion. The term Brahman is also an illusion, a term, a label. But because we want to express, we need to use the dualistic language. By definition, the language is dualistic. It is not an Advaita tool. It is a Dvaita tool. It is a dualistic tool. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Okay, Pippa.
Hi, yeah. I wanted to ask how, if I have duty to family, how do I achieve that without attachment? Please.
Can you repeat, please?
Yes, sorry. If I have a duty to my children, how do I do this without attachment? And is it selfish to want to be alone now they have grown older?
No, the scriptures are very, very well expressing that what we have as a prarabdha karma or destiny has to be unfolded, has to be exhausted. So the apparent being called Pipa, the apparent being, this one being, is having a prarabdha karma, destiny. So this destiny has to be unfolded, has to be exhausted. And there is no problem to allow the prarabdha karma to be unfolded. The problem is when you are identifying with the roles, for example, the role of the mother. If you have an identification of this role, then this will create suffering, because suddenly you become a limited being, an individual being, when in reality you are infinite being. You are just making yourself very finite, very limited. And it is a contraction which will bring suffering. It's like you have shoes. What's the number of your shoes?
5.
Hmm?
5.
5. Let's say you want to put your feet in 3. What will happen?
Squashed, no room.
And suffering, isn't it?
Yes.
So it is the same with what we call psychological suffering, or suffering due to superimposing to ourselves limitation and finitude.
Okay, yeah.
See, it is impossible to experience the bliss of your true nature and the happiness and peace of your true nature when you believe that you are a finite human being, a limited individual entity. Because then you have a lot of problems. You have fear, you have agony, you have stress, you have panic, you have a lot of anxieties, and so on and so forth.
Yes.
But what about when you see that you are not the wave in the ocean, but you are the entire ocean, the entire water of the ocean? Then you don't feel this limitation. You cannot experience suffering. Suffering is an illusion. It appears due to misconception of your true self, of your true nature.
Okay, yeah.
It's no problem to allow the role to function as a mother, but the problem comes and it becomes suffering when you say that my true nature is this limited being, this limited role. This is the problem, attachment. And how we deal with attachment? With self-knowledge and with a scriptural study, because the study of the scriptures under the guidance of a competent guru will reveal the truth for us.
Thank you.
Okay, you're most welcome.
It's a bit dark. What is meant exactly by the term reflected consciousness? Can you shine some light on that?
Sure. So let's say we have a surface of water, and we have on a table, let's say 5 different containers of water. And in these 5 containers of water, we see the reflection of the sun. 5 different suns are there on the surface of the water. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, it will be clever to say that we have really there 5 different suns.
No.
No, because they are only reflections. The true sun is in the sky, not in the surface of the water. So it is the same with the jivatmas, the apparent individual entities. They are only reflections of consciousness. And as such, they appear as real, but they are not real. This is called Chidabhasa, reflected consciousness. Then, to go to the previous question, as an example, we have, let's say, we do a visit to a circus. I have used this example in another session as well. And we pass from these mirrors where they are making the appearance look very strange, like very fat or very long, or different kinds of appearances, which are not, of course, our true appearance. And then it's like you want to become sad because you see your appearance so ugly. So, but when you know your true appearance, that it is not so fat, but the reflection in the mirror makes it to appear very fat, then can you be sad or angry?
No.
No, because you know who you are. You know how is the real appearance of your physical body, to call it like this. So it is the same with our true nature, our true self. When after long-term scriptural study and also reflection, and also contemplating on the truth and having self-knowledge, jnanam, like after we did so much Sravanam, Mananam, and Nididhyasanam, under the guidance of a competent guru, we realize who we really are or what we really are. Then, as a result, the knowledge of our true nature or our true self removes the idea of suffering, removes the false belief that I have suffering, when in reality the body-mind complex have suffering. The reflected consciousness can have suffering. Not our true nature, not our true self with capital S. So Advaita Vedanta sorry to interrupt you. So Advaita Vedanta does not remove the appearance of suffering for the reflected consciousness or the human being, the apparent human being or the apparent jivatma or the apparent individual entity. What it removes is the false belief that I have suffering, I have problems. It removes this misapprehension, this false belief system. And then the body-mind complex may have a problem or experiencing a trouble or experiencing a sickness or an accident or the loss of career or the loss of a beloved one. But you can accept it. You can realize that you are not that. You can realize that what you are is what is watching, what is providing the accommodation, the revealing, and the illumining function. Not that you are this body-mind complex who have the problem or who have the suffering. Just like the dream in the night. Because you believe that you are the dreamer who had an accident, you are experiencing pain. But if a guru will come in the dream and say, wake up, you are not this person who had now a traffic accident, you are what is watching this body down on the road, then you will not experience suffering. You will know the truth, that the body has the problem, which is only an illusion, which is only a thought form. It is the same with the big dream. The guru appears as your own self, what we call an external guru, is your own self as consciousness, appearing apparently out there, when in reality it is your own self. Why? Because there is only one self with capital S. There are not many selves with capital S. There are not many consciousnesses or awarenesses or Brahmans. There is only one Brahman. And this is what you are. All are just appearances, only a movie, only a theatrical play. That's why in Astavakra Gita, it is mentioned. Everything what you see is only a dream or a show lasting 3 to 5 days. Because it is exactly like that. It is not, it doesn't have inherent existence. So you see yourself in the mirror. If the mirror is full of dust or dirt, you may believe that you are this dirty face, in the mirror, but you are not. You know that your face is clear. It doesn't have this dirt that there is there upon the surface of the mirror. The same with all the problems in what we call the waking dream, the waking state. But all the states are just states of the mind, just appearances. We are, of course, the we in inverted commas, the substratum, the surface in inverted commas, whereupon everything appears and disappears. But all are just reflections or are appearances on the same stuff in inverted commas, which is consciousness. But if you believe that you are again the wave, Andrew, then you may see another wave which has better scheme or shape or form, and you may want to make love with this wave. And you may believe that, oh, in order for me to be happy or in bliss, I need to make love with this wave. So otherwise, I will not be happy. Otherwise, I will not be fulfilled or in contentment, because I need this wave in my life in order to be happy, in order to be fulfilled. Or you may say, I need to collect a lot of water, which is the symbol of money or wealth, in order for me to feel abundance or complete. When in reality, you are already the entire water of the ocean. But you must know that. If you don't know that and you believe you are just this small wave called Andrew, then always there will be this feeling, this false belief that in order for you to be fulfilled or in contentment, you need more water, or you need another wave to hug or to kiss, or to, and you need more water as money or wealth or possessions. You need the other waves to say that you are a good wave or a successful wave, and so on and so forth. All is just circus, because due to ignorance, to darkness, it appears this circus. It's only a joke, a cosmic joke. It's another example. It can be the cloud in the sky. You may believe you are a cloud and not the sky, but you are the sky. And no matter how many waves they do appear in the sky, no matter how many clouds, they do appear in the sky have no any problem. No matter how many waves they do rise up in the ocean, does the ocean have any problem? No, not at all. So a wave is only an appearance. There is no inherent existence in the wave. There is only water. There is no snake. There is only rope. Because you walk in the darkness, you may experience suffering, pain, and panic, because suddenly you see, as you walk in dim light, on your feet, a snake, and you may experience a lot of suffering and fear and agony and stress. And then comes Satchitananda and say to you, wake up, Andrew. There is no here any snake. It's all just a rope that is upon your feet, on your feet. And then what happens with fear and the panic and the stress and the worry? What happens? It disappears. Because you recognize that there is no snake there. There is only the rope, which cannot harm you, etc., etc. It's like that. It's only superimpositions which bring the suffering. And all this about Chitta Bhasa and reflected consciousness reminds us the root cause of all problems. We believe we are the reflected consciousness, the face in the mirror, when in reality we are not the face in the mirror. We are the real, the source, the face, the authentic face of consciousness, not what we see in consciousness as appearances.
So the reflected consciousness refers to the entire body-mind complex.
Yes. And actually, the entire universe is only reflected consciousness. All the apparent objects, all the apparent beings, and the apparent universe or universes are only reflected consciousness. No inherent existence on whatever you see. Only appearances and disappearances. Exactly how is it in the dream? We have only appearances and disappearances where on the substratum of consciousness.
So, like, I'm trying to work out exactly what the mind is. So if the body-mind complex is reflected consciousness, then mind is different from consciousness. Like in a dream.
No, there is nothing different from consciousness. The mind is just a name for the bundle of thoughts or the thinking process. There is no entity or an individual entity called mind as a distinct entity than consciousness. So consciousness and mind are not distinct. Mind is only a function that seemingly appears in consciousness. It is only Maya, according to the scriptures. It is only seemingly there, never really there. So according to Advaita Vedanta, and according to a jnani, a self-realized one, whatever appears and disappears is only seemingly appearing and disappearing. A jnani sees only himself as consciousness, as the self with capital S, as awareness, as Brahman, and nothing else except than that. So all is consciousness. Everything and everybody is only consciousness, awareness, Brahman. And also, there is no all, and there is no everything, and there is no everybody or anyone. All these are only expressions. We say everything in the scriptures, everything and everybody and whatever you see, and all is consciousness, awareness, Brahman. But there is no all in the first place. There is no everything. There is no everybody. But how to express in the dualistic language? Unfortunately, we need to use, when there is teaching, we need to use the dualistic language. But in the first place, there is no reflected consciousness as a distinct case of awareness, consciousness, Brahman. It's only a matter of expression for the need of teaching. Is it there, the face in the mirror? Really there? Can you touch the face in the mirror? No. It appears there, yes. We don't deny the appearances. But does it have the face in the mirror inherent existence? No. It is borrowing existence, apparent existence from consciousness, from the real face, the source. The same with the reflections of the sun in containers under the sun, containers of liquid or water under the sun.
Okay, thank you.
Most welcome. Somebody else?
We've just got a few minutes left, 5 or 6 minutes, or 7 minutes left.
Okay. Then let's close it for tonight. I remind you that it is nice to study as much as possible, but let's remember that here we don't need to become a scholar. We just want to use the teachings of my guru, Swami Paramarthananda, as a base to trigger questions and to trigger this inquiry, this Atma Vichara through the scriptures. So you should not worry about the quantity of studying or the quantity of chapters, but you should just do as much as you can according to your duties in life, and just trust that we will cover all the important topics in our satsangas, in our classes here. So thank you very much for your participation, and we will see each other again next Wednesday. So namaste.
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 Thank you very much.
Thank you.
See you next week, everybody. Thanks for coming.